Hi, good morning, good morning. All right, so this is the question we get asked all the time. What do you do for money that you can travel full time? What do you do for money that you get to bop around and be a nomad? We're talking to our very special guest today who's going to answer this question for you in her way. She's been all over Europe, as far as I know, this year, and we're about to find out a little bit more. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. On this here YouTube channel, we help Black women take sabbaticals and career breaks. We help Black women bop around as nomads. We help Black women move abroad while embracing ease. I'm a house sitter and the creator of House Sitter School and the co-creator of Exodus Summit, which we're going to talk about very soon. You're going to want to hear about Exodus Summit as well. Um, and this YouTube channel is a welcome place for you. If that sounds good, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you. And then turn on notifications, ring the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post a new video or when I go live. Welcome. Welcome, special guest.
Hello.
Friends, meet Keyoka, who I've met in the real world. Keyoka, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Keyoka. I'm a copywriter and I've been traveling through Europe this year. I also started a YouTube channel called The Awkward Black Nomad.
Yes, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to link to Keyoka's YouTube channel in just a second. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, TC and Tanja. Good morning, Black Flourishing and Free, who we met in London.
Well,
Good
Bonnie, good
morning.
morning.
Good morning,
Stop.
Kimberly. Let's talk about it with Mara. Good morning, Shaughnessy. Good morning, Herman Dow. Good morning, Kelly and Kemi and Shauna. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rashida, who we met in London.
Miss Cheetah in the building. Wait, can they
She's
hear me? Okay.
yeah,
They-
they can hear you. They can hear you. We're together on this, okay, Kyoka? We're together. Good morning, how's everyone? Why don't we start out this here live stream by telling us if you were going to bop around a region, what region would you pick? If you were going to take a few months or a year or more and bop around a specific one part of the world, can you pick one part that you would choose? I've done that around Asia. Kyoka has done that around Europe, as far as we know. So let's talk about these things. So first, my first question for you is how long have you been bopping? How long have you been out nomadically living and traveling the world?
Right. So my dogs and I left the US on January 31st of this year, and we just been bopping ever since.
I thought it was all year because I know when we met, we got to meet in London first in April, and when we met, you weren't just getting started. You had been there for for a while and some other place.
Right.
So where did you start?
I started in Ireland, and I chose Ireland for a specific reason. There you go. Sorry. So for
Don't
everybody, I'm
apologize.
sorry.
Don't
Dogs.
apologize. Dogs bark.
Um, they love to join in the conversation, especially when they see me talking. Hate that for
Yes.
them. But if you see me doing this, I'm throwing treats. So anyways, I started in Ireland because from the US, you actually can't bring the dogs into London. So originally, I wanted to go to London first in cabin, but in Ireland, you can. So I was kind of nervous about having them fly cargo. Now I'm less nervous about it, but it was the start of my trip, and I was like, I want them with me. I want to fly in cabin. So boom, Dublin. Like,
Okay.
let's do it.
Okay. So you had to do some extra research to figure that out.
Mhm.
You have two dogs?
I have two dogs. They're Chihuahua mixes, so they're kind of tiny. They fit in one little bag.
Yeah. I saw that on Instagram. Oh, she's also. I'm saying it backwards. It's awkward black nomad. I wrote down black awkward nomad, no, and that was not it. Okay, so I saw that on Instagram. I'll link to it in just a second. I saw that on Instagram. How you were You said you were practicing. You put them both in the same carrier to make sure that was going to work.
Yes, I'm very concerned about their emotional well being. So we do a lot of practicing for a lot of different things.
How do they seem to like being nomads?
I have to remember that like they didn't choose to be nomads, so there are times when like it's kind of difficult for them to like get adjusted to a new place. Like I definitely think they like certain places more than others. So we've been in Denmark now for 2 days. I think they like Denmark more than Albania. We were in Albania for 3 months. They
Okay,
did not. They were not a fan. They were not a fan of Spain. Also,
same. Oh,
yeah. Well,
oh,
not
So I want to talk about the places. Okay, okay, I'm gonna keep track of that. Okay, we're gonna get back to that. So you started in Ireland,
Ireland.
which okay. So question that you can say pass to. Okay,
Okay.
do you date people when you travel?
Yes.
Did you do some dating in Ireland?
No. So I want to go back to Ireland because I have talked to some of the, I call them the men's.
Mhm.
I have talked to some of the men's in Ireland, and I'm like, oh, I need to get back there and see what it's giving, just see what the landscape is. But
What
I
you were?
do in all the places I've been to.
Okay, good. You were there in the wintertime though, like that was January, February.
Yeah, that was like early February, very cold, and I was only there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a lot of time to even want to go outside,
Okay.
do things.
We understand. I believe that Ireland is a place where I would just thrive as a dating person, as a dating single woman. They,
Ireland is my
yeah,
favorite place that I've been to so far,
okay.
I would say.
I believe that. It's crazy expensive though.
It is very expensive. I paid a lot for accommodations. I'm trying to get into house sitting, but I'm a little, I have dogs, so I'm a little hesitant. I would be the house. I wouldn't be the sitter.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. They're little dogs, and there are people who don't care, especially in the UK, where people sometimes have more like outdoor space. In
Hmm.
parts of the UK, maybe parts of Ireland, right? People seem to have a little extra outdoor space or whatever. Some people would not care about two extra dogs, especially if they have dogs that like other dogs.
I might look into it. I
I
might look
said,
into it.
yeah, I think it would be. It's what I love house sitting, and I think house sitting is great for women who want to bop around. And having two small dogs is not a no for some people, right? It's a no for some, but not everybody, is what I'll say.
Right.
And so, if you have a few extra minutes to ask a couple extra questions when you apply for a house sit, it's wonderful because Ireland, I looked at Ireland once, Dublin and like around Cork, and they were talking $3,000 for a regular Airbnb for the month.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
It's
So
very
me, meeting, I don't know why I think Irish men are lumberjacks, but meeting a lumberjack is going to cost money. Do they look like
because
lumberjacks?
that's my type. Lumberjack is my type. I always say I like men who look like a juice box. Like that's what I want. But they don't have a lot of those over here.
How do you look
This,
like
like a juice box, like
a square?
just square, just walking around like this.
I've never heard that before.
Type.
Yeah, so they have a reputation. People are like right now, like y'all are ridiculous. But men in Ireland are not the same as Irish Americans, right? Irish people are not Irish Americans.
Because
And
the personalities are different. They're so friend like in all the places I've been to so far. Irish people, if they even see me look at my phone like I'm lost,
uh-huh.
will stop what they're doing and walk me wherever it is I need to go. Like they have nowhere else to be.
Hmm.
Like so friendly, so accommodating. I've gotten free bus rides before because I went up to the bus driver and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm lost. I'm trying to get to the city center. He's like, I'm not gonna do an Irish accent. But every time I tell the story, I do like a really bad one.
Let's
But
hear it. Let's hear it.
he's like, "Come on, get on the bus, whatever. Like, I'll take you." And then he, tells me like, "This is just stop." Like, and they're just so welcoming and accommodating. And
They
I
are.
love art.
They are ranked like among some of the best people in the world. Not just friendliest, but just genuinely some of the best people. They had two women, I guess they're called presidents. They have two heads of state anyway at one time. It's confusing. But they had two women back to back as head of state, right? Their president right now, I believe, is gay and half Indian, right?
Yeah,
They're a very like I
inclusive.
see, yes, inclusive, thank you. Inclusive people, I think they really identify with African Americans, with Black people. They really identify with what life has been like for us because they had some mistreatment from the British people, right?
Mm.
And I think that they really do have a reputation of being wonderful people. And I think it's where I'm going to go. I don't know if they have men with yachts there, but I think it's where, did you
Is
see
that the goal? Is that the goal? I didn't see any yachts, but I
it?
wasn't looking.
Yes, that's the goal. Yes, Keyoka. Okay, that is the goal. Men with yachts. In your travels, keep list, keep follow. find me one. Thank you. That's your assignment. That's your assignment. Okay. Oh, look, Aunt Christie's here. Can you see that? Can you see that?
I can't see the chat. Maybe I
Oh,
should put the
Christy says that's my niece. Love you, Kia.
hey. That's
Hi, Auntie. Yeah, who's probably my age. Hello, friends. I guess I should say. Hello. All right. So Keyoka was in Dublin. She's not in Dublin now. You went to the UK with your dogs. You
Mhm.
went to, okay. And then after the UK, you went, I just want a quick timeline of where you've been since January 31st.
Okay, so after the UK, I drove through France. I stayed in France for like a few nights. I was a little shook by the riots, but they turned out to not be that big of a deal. Which is why you shouldn't believe the media when you're looking for places to travel. Like, go see for yourself. I had my hotel was canceled. I didn't mean to go on it. My hotel was canceled, and my auntie, the one in the chat, was like, "What you gonna do? Because they burning trash cans out there." And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to France. And then I drove through. I didn't see anything. Like nothing was popping off. And I was like, man, I wish I had stayed longer. But I drove through France to Spain.
Okay.
Stayed in Spain for like 2 months in Barcelona, right on the beach. It was gorgeous. Um, and then I went to Albania. I stayed in Albania for 3 months, and now I'm in Denmark. Oh, obviously, I went to the Exodus Summit meetup in Morocco. I'm trying to think, was there any more like one offs? No. Yeah, so that's it so far.
Okay. That's an amazing like trip since February. That's a lot. You've seen a lot and you've done a whole lot. Okay. So I want to get the main question out of the way now. Okay. So you were born with some sort of trust fund or you won the Powerball or what?
No, I wish. I wish. I'm working as I travel. So I know that the Exodus community is big on sabbaticals. This is not a sabbatical. I'm working as I travel. It's not as bad as I think people think it is. It's just about time management. I have the flexibility as a copywriter to sort of make my own hours. Um, with my company, sometimes I have to be online for meetings, which can be a little late, but they are mindful of like my time. They know I'm in a different time zone. So the
Oh,
latest meeting, yeah, so the latest my meetings are is probably like 9 o'clock. I have had some like one-offs that are like 10 p.m. But other than that, like as long as I meet my deadlines, they're not really big on me having a set schedule.
so you don't, I assumed that I knew you were a copywriter. I assumed that you were like a freelancer, but you work for an employer?
Yes. So I'm getting my freelancing off the ground. I only have one client so far,
Okay.
but I do work for a company
Eight,
that's
you have your
in the US.
first client is the way to, yes, you have your first client. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
But yes, I do work for a company right now. So that's my bread and butter as I travel.
How long have you been with them?
Yeah, about a year.
And you don't have to say the name of the company, but were they always, did they ever, were they always what Libria Jones calls location agnostic? Did they always not care where you were in the world as long as you worked? Or were you once a person who was hired to work in a city, in a particular place, and then you said, can I move around?
What was that? Location agnostic? They were always location agnostic. They were
Okay,
always remote.
okay.
They after 2020, they closed down their office
Uh-huh.
and allowed all the employees to be remote. So we are fully remote and will in the future be remote. I am the only. It's a small company, so I am the only employee that is traveling like around the world.
Oh,
Um, and so that was like a conversation that I had to have with my director.
okay.
Um, but they were pretty understanding, and they were like, the nature of your job, you don't actually have to be in our time zone, but we'll work on it with you. They're willing to make adjustments for me in different countries.
Fantastic. How did you find this job, the employer?
LinkedIn, I think. I think it was just LinkedIn. I wasn't looking for. I knew so after 2020, I knew I didn't want to be in an office again. So I specifically was looked for jobs that were remote.
All right, yeah. So LinkedIn is overlooked a lot, right? LinkedIn today, people remember the original LinkedIn where it was just like a place where you put your resume. But LinkedIn today is a place where you network and a place where you actually get jobs. Be careful though, because if you don't want no job, people will find you. I get messages from people on LinkedIn all the time. I'm like, what makes you think I want a job? It says sabbatical right in my headline, right? But those of you who are looking for something that is fully remote, right, something where they don't care about where you are in the world, LinkedIn is a place where you should be. So, did you? You already had a job, but you knew you wanted remote. You got this job with this company that you found on LinkedIn, and then needed to let them know that you're going to be bopping around the world, and your time zone is going to change, and stuff like that. And you said so they really had no pushback. Are they an American company or are they international?
Yeah, they're American.
Okay.
So I actually, I'm gonna tell my tea because I think this could be beneficial. I actually started traveling, working two full time jobs. And so like one of my jobs, I did not disclose that I was traveling. I got a VPN, and I mean that job was also remote, but I didn't disclose that I was traveling. I got a VPN, set it up, got a router, and took that with me when I started traveling.
Okay. So this is a thing that people do. We're not going to repeat what she said a second time as if we're giving instructions.
You
Okay. But I'm gonna
know,
tell. This is a thing that some people do. Some people do travel around, but don't tell their job that they're traveling from place to place or that they've even left the United States. I will say, if they find out and they care, they will fire you. And then you'll be traveling around without that job. So this is not advice. I would not recommend it. See, so serious. I wouldn't recommend. If your job is standing in the way of you living your dream, quit the job. Right, right. That's my that's my approach. I don't want anybody talking about. Stephanie Perry told me to just get a VPN and pretend like I'm still in the country when I'm not, and then you get fired. Okay?
and also I want to say too, I'm not handling any sensitive information. I'm not there's that my job actually wouldn't have pushed back if I told them that I wanted to travel. We did talk about it a little bit, but I had some like beef with my director or whatever. So I knew she wasn't going to approve it. It was just a whole thing
Okay.
separate. You know, I wasn't handling like government information or anything like that. Like I'm not they wouldn't have cared.
And so you were one of the people who had two full-time jobs because everything was online and people wouldn't know. Nobody would know.
The coins were nice. The coins were nice.
How many hours of work did that equal working per day?
Okay, I don't want to say I don't because I feel like people are gonna be like, "Oh, I could work two jobs and it'd be nice." Because it's like for me though, it was easy just because of the nature of my work and also like I know what I'm doing. So
Uh-huh.
I would say my work week is probably 10 to 15 hours when I was working a full time job. Two full time jobs
10 to 15 hours per.
week.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of people doing that, right?
Yeah.
I've heard of people doing it. Some people, there are some jobs where, it's full-time pay, but it's not full-time work.
Yeah, and I mean, the part that I didn't like about it was always having to like, working from two computers, always having to keep up with different kind of meetings from each team. One team had one meeting a week, the other team had like six meetings a week, and then like sometimes it just gets really it becomes a hassle having to keep track of all the different things.
Yeah,
So I didn't like it. It was kind of stressful.
I believe that because two bosses means two bosses, right?
Right. Two teams
Two teams.
dealing with two sets of like
Going.
people having the same awkward morning conversations with
So, but this was just this year that you had those two jobs, and then you cut down to one.
yes.
Okay, while you were out so that's why you didn't meet our Irish lumberjack because you were busy working two jobs.
When I was in Ireland though, I was stressed. Like when I first decided to leave the US, I literally had what I would call like a nervous breakdown at my aunt's house, like the night before my flight, because I was like, what am I doing? I'm I'm 30 years old. I am thinking, if I start traveling, what if I never find my husband? Like I'm gonna go on the road. Nobody's gonna want to date somebody who's traveling. I'm giving up my apartment. I'm gonna be homeless. I had my girlfriends joking around and being like, haha, you're gonna be homeless. And it was like, I'm failing as an adult. And then in Ireland, I was still kind of there was a period where I was like, is this the right was this the right choice? Right. And then I had sort of like an aha moment while I was there. Um, and yeah, it was the right choice.
Yeah.
I said all that to say it's lit over here.
we Everyone freaks out. We all
Yeah.
freak out when we're going to do a new thing and leaving behind the old thing, especially when the old thing is what everybody says you're supposed to do. You will freak out. All right? I think you have to be prepared for the freak out, and if you're not prepared, when it catches you off guard, that's what's scary. When you know what's coming, it's okay. But when that freak out when you're prepared for it, when you know that you're going to freak out, and here are the things I'm going to tell myself to remind myself of why I'm doing this.
Mm.
It is helpful. So prepare, friends, prepare in advance to be like, oh no, 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 no. Prepare for the panic. Prepare for it by saying, here's why I'm doing this. Can I create a visual reminder? Can I create some affirmations? Can I create a playlist that will move me through that freak out? Everybody freaks out. I didn't give my 2 weeks. I've quit a job many a time. Okay, I'm a serial job quitter. But back in 2015, when it was time for me to leave for my year of travel in Southeast Asia, I couldn't give my 2 weeks notice. I had a supervisor who I worked night shift, and he didn't work night shift, but he was our supervisor. But when you wanted to talk to him, you had to come in very early. I think he would leave around 6, and I started my shift around 9. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I went in and couldn't give it to him and left in the parking lot, just left. Right? So then I had to do it all over again. I think either the next day or a couple days later. I had to do the whole thing all over again because I really wanted to give it to him in person. I felt I owed him that much of, whatever. Um, Everybody, and I've quit a job many times, but this was different because I was quitting a job and leaving the country and leaving the house, and right. So we're gonna freak out. It's scary. Scary things are scary. So I'm glad that you mentioned it. I'm glad that it was worth enduring, right?
Yeah.
When you freaked out, were you telling people because your girlfriends were like, this is a mistake? Could you tell them that you were freaking out, or did you just have to
Oh,
keep?
I didn't tell my friends. I was there with my aunt when it happened. So she was like, "You already bought the plane ticket. You can." Something she always tells me is, "You can always just come back home. Like you're not going to the moon. You have, you can just decide that you don't want to be in a place and you can just leave."
Hmm.
And I've taken that with me. So like even when I'm in a place now in a different country and I'm like, I don't like it here. I could just leave. I'm not tied to a location.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
freedom. That's freedom. Yeah. So,
location freedom.
location freedom, baby, for the win. Yeah. So you said that you felt like you had failed at adulting.
Mm.
That what you failed at, I think, okay, what we'll say that we have failed at is living somebody else's life.
Right.
We have succeeded at choosing our own life. That's the fail, right? Me,
I
I left.
agree.
I had a house too. I had this, I had the things too. I left those things behind and I failed at living the life that somebody else said I needed to live, right? That's what we failed at. We're adult. You're an adult, I'm pretty sure. A 30-year-old adult. 30-year, you're right at that borderline. You're right at that age where women be like, oh, I'm so old. Oh, it's too late. That's my 30-year-old. That's my 26 to 30-year-old voice. Oh, it's too late. Oh, I was supposed to have all of this by now. Now, you're just getting started. You are just getting started. Take it from us. Yeah, so right, but I'm supposed to be married by now. I'm supposed to have kids by now. I'm supposed to be this and that by now. No, you're not. If you were supposed to be, you would have it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay, okay, okay. All right,
Yeah.
yeah. We're living our lives. That's 26 to 30. I was supposed I am I'm about
Why
to be 30.
I actually welcomed 30. I was not one of the girls
Okay.
who was like, I'm getting old. And in fact, I treat the other young girls like my sons, like, well, my daughters. Cause it's like, back when I remember being 26 and I go with my with my tea and my, I remember being back then I was so young. So I'm okay being 30. I get to school the kids.
Okay,
I'm
good,
okay
good,
with
good. I love it.
what I
Yeah. Yeah, okay, Dina agrees with us. She says that freak out means you're about to leap forward. That's right. That's right. Because we don't freak out in our day-to-day lives about the regular, everyday habitual stuff we have to do. We freak out about the new things. They are scary. We're not here to pretend like this isn't scary, right?
yeah.
It's scary. You're going to be afraid every time you get on. So you've gone to one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 different countries since February. Every time you have to go into a new place, there's something scary about it, even though you've done the same routine over and over, right? It's scary.
Yeah.
We still do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we
Stop
have.
being scared. It isn't like you wake up one morning and you're like, okay, I'm not scared of this thing. But I think like it's gotten easier for me to just kind of like go forward and like push myself. Like one of the biggest themes of this year. So every year I give myself a theme. And
Okay.
like this year is push yourself. Like even when things are challenging, keep pushing yourself forward.
Yeah, I'm writing that down. Yeah. Yeah, we want to live our lives, we want to explore, we want to see what's out there for us. And that requires the ability to do things even when you're afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wonderful life skill. It'll take you far. It'll take you far. All right, so you have some sister in here. Let's talk about it with Mara is turning 30 this year, and Marissa Price says 30 is knocking on her door. Hello, young friends. Hello, baby sisters. It's 30 is nothing, okay? You're just getting started, all right?
To say that this was my 30th year, like I already I already did a lot. Like this is a pretty good year. I would say this is probably my best year yet. So
Living. Out here living, yes. And every round does go higher, higher. It does continue to get better and better. Not to say that there aren't some things that suck as about getting older, but it really does get better and better. It does, absolutely. I'm a witness. Okay, all right, all right. So, um, do you have friends? Do y'all have questions about the work situation? We're going to go back to the travel and the dating and what do you like about different places and all of that. All I know that's what we want to talk about, but I want to cover the work situation first because that's what I brought you here under the guy. I brought you here under the guise of talking about how to make
talking about
money travel the world. So ask your money and work questions. Okay, so you told us, Keyoka, that you're in, because they're in the US, the time zone situation can be really tricky. Have you had any times when it's been, how, is it worth navigating that, the time zone situation and the meetings and all of that? Is it okay or does it suck?
so I'm introverted, which a lot of people say like no you're not, but I am. I'm very introverted and I don't really like meetings. So that part to me is kind of like but in terms of like what's doable, it is doable. It's not a terrible thing. I probably go to bed around 11 o'clock anyway, so if I have to hop on a call at 9 o'clock, it's not a big deal.
Okay. Okay. And when you're ahead of people, you get to go out sometimes and do things in the day and then come
That's
in to work in the afternoon, right?
That's exactly what I and well, nobody from my job watches it. They're all in Utah. They don't watch. But I also have taken an unofficial I take an unofficial 2 days off every week. I respond to messages, but I'm not working.
Mhm. They're not either.
So
They're not either. If you, they're not either. Okay. Yeah. So you have time to enjoy the places and not just be there working. Be the,
yeah.
looking out the window like, I wish I could go out and see Albania.
No, like I have like my days are usually for my exploring. And then it just depends. Like I usually work in bursts. So some days it's like I may be feeling like, okay, I want to stay inside, let me knock out some work. But yeah, for the most part, my daytime is my time to like get around and see new places.
Okay. All right. And then so did you start your freelance business when did you start the freelance business?
May of
Oh,
this year.
all
So
right.
in the next 3 clients, and I got one client after that. But
Oh, okay, good. Okay. Okay. I don't so people don't give us updates very much, right? So,
okay,
people
okay.
do the challenge, but we don't know. Did you keep going? Did you give up? We don't know. And then later on they'll be like, "Oh, my life is amazing because of this." And right? We're like, "Okay, well, thanks for letting us know now." Okay. So you did the Get Your Next Three Clients challenge with me and with Rashida. And that's when you jumped off your freelance writing business, your freelance copywriting business. Okay. Got your first client. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. And then what is your, so what is your client getting planned? What is do you want more clients right now, or is it not, the load
I
is,
would like more clients. I would like more clients, but I'm scaling slowly just because like I am still working like a full-time job. And I don't want to be I want to make like a transition to only be doing freelance work, but right now I'm just kind of like doing baby steps.
okay. Okay. I
Yeah.
like baby steps. They're just steps. They're
They're
steps.
just stuff. I'm
They're just,
trying it out.
baby steps are really hard for babies.
Yes.
We
Yes.
say baby steps as if it's dismissive, but baby steps are really hard.
Yeah.
Okay? We celebrate the baby steps. Okay. So have you ever thought about, or have you ever thought about the client load, the ideal client load that would mean you wouldn't have to have a job anymore?
Yes.
What's the number? Do you want to say the number out loud? You don't have to. You can say pass. Okay.
Pass.
Okay. So when you're talking about wanting to transition from having a job to being freelance and having your business be your source of everything, right?
Mhm.
You have to remember that there are some things some extra things. Your taxes are going to be probably a little more significant. Your business expenses, because even though we're traveling the world, U.S. like they're like, hey, tax time, pay me my money. I don't care where you've been. There is if you've been out of the country for X number of days in a year, there is some tax advantage, but you still filing taxes and you're still paying taxes. So taxes sometimes can be more significant when you're on your own. Now, health insurance is interesting for you because if you leave your job and are just a freelancer and that is supporting you, in the US, your health insurance would be a significant amount of money, right? Your health insurance as an individual person without an employer would cost a grip. But because you don't need US health insurance, if you're going to be bopping around the world, there's a real advantage to being nomadic when you're a freelancer,
Mhm.
especially if you understand that you just would have to pay for healthcare out of pocket or buy private insurance. Yeah, there's a real advantage to being nomadic out of the US while being a freelancer because that health insurance expense, anybody here ever pay for their own insurance fully? I did not. I do not. In the US, I rely on VA insurance and prayer and don't leave the house as my health insurance plan. When I'm in the US, right, I just stay home and hope nothing goes wrong.
Same.
But
Same.
out of the
Something has
U.S.,
to fall off
yeah, nothing.
for me to
Listen,
go to the doctor back home.
I broke two different teeth, right? I broke one tooth a while ago and one tooth before Palm Springs. And I was like, I'm not going to the dentist in Palm Springs. There ain't no way. There's no way I'm going to the dentist in Palm Springs when I know I'm about to come to Costa Rica. Came to Costa Rica. She was like, $850, please. I was like, okay. Got the root canal. Okay, so I was supposed to get two root canals. They gave me a surprise root canal at the last minute. They gave me three root canals and three, whatever they're called, the replacement teeth, whatever. $850 per tooth. Ain't no way that would have been the price in Palm Springs. So, I mean, yeah.
Dog insurance too. I don't know how many people own dogs, but like, so I had when I was in Albania, I got some dental work done for one of my dogs. He had two cracked teeth, so they had to extract them.
Uh-huh.
$200. Hey, do you know how much it costs to even do a cleaning for a dog in the US?
How
It's
much?
crazy. It's at least $800 for a
800.
dog.
$800 for a dog's teeth cleaning in the U.S., $200 to fix two cracked teeth in Albania.
And
Yeah.
they cleaned as well.
Uh-huh.
So the cleaning by itself, like putting them under anesthesia and then like doing the whole, it's expensive. It
Yeah. Oh, they have to put him under anesthesia. Oh, how did he do?
was fine. He was just a little like, he was a
Right.
little, he was
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, so Angela Rochelle, hey Angela, $560 per month for her insurance in the U.S. As an independent person, as a business owner. I Insure You says it costs her $620 a month as an individual, right? This is one of the reasons we're talking about healthcare in Exodus Summit 2023 as a reason to leave the U.S. All right, healthcare, health insurance, these prices are much lower abroad, and the care is better. Even if the healthcare maybe the healthcare is the same, but the care in the healthcare is better abroad. So we have a session in Exodus Summit 2023 all about that, all about healthcare being a reason to leave the U.S. In particular, like so serious. If you make money on your own, if you make money as a freelancer, as a consultant, some sort of entrepreneur, something, an investor, you should not be in the United States, in my opinion, for healthcare reasons, for safety reasons, all of that. Okay, let me drop the link to Exodus Summit. So, Keyoka, you've attended Exodus Summit. I believe you were in Exodus Summit last year. Am I right about
Yes.
that?
Yes. I went to Exodus Summit, the virtual and also the in-person meetup.
Yeah. Do you remember how you found out about this whole gang? Which is definitely.
Um, I think I wasn't even trying to travel. Like it was never my intention to even travel or rest or anything.
Uh-huh.
I was following another YouTuber, Erica De Niro TV, and she follows you guys. So it just kind of like one of the videos kind of showed up as like recommended, and I was like, "Oh, what's the? I'm black. What's this?"
Mhm.
and
Talking to me.
then got into the, I don't know, I guess I got into the experience, the belief that like this was possible, that I could create a life that I wanted right now. um and it was just alluring to me, so I got more into it.
So you went to the summit last year. No, we had sessions on freelance writing in 2022.
Yeah, I
Uh,
saw that.
Jessica Poitvien did a wonderful session on freelancing in Exodus Summit 2022. Hey, Erica. She did a wonderful session for us last year on.
Erica's chat, oh my god, I love her. Hi.
Say hi.
Oh my god, Diva.
Yes. Jessica's session on freelancing last year in Exodus Summit 2022 was fantastic. If you do anything where you need to get clients on your own, that's a session you need to go back and watch. Jessica did a wonderful job of breaking down the pitching process because a lot of freelancing is pitching. A lot of
Yeah,
freelancing or any client work, some client work, consulting is how to position yourself in the market and how to reach out to the people who will use you a freelancer, as a provider of the thing. So that session in Exodus Summit 2022 is a fantastic help. Rashida and I then followed that up with the Get Your Next Three Clients Challenge. We did that 3 different times, I think, in 2023, to help you get yourself out in the world, right? Get your business out in the world and tell people about what you do. So those things are resources that I'm going to point you to right now. If you're listening to this conversation, friends, and you're like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to learn how to do it. You don't have to be ready to leap, right? It's scary, but I'm ready to learn how to do it. Exodus Summit 2023 is happening October 6th through 9th. It's all online. Tickets are at exodussummit.com. And when you register for Exodus Summit 2023, you can also add on replays from Exodus Summit 2022. Okay, so you can add on to watch Jessica's session on freelancing. Libria Jones' session on finding remote work. Those sessions are worth adding on. Um, Sojourner did a wonderful session also on taking a traditional 9 to 5 remote. Those of you who do something that's traditionally done in person, she's a social worker. If you do something that's traditionally done in person, her session on taking a traditional job remote were wonderful sessions on how to look at your skill set instead of your job title. So those of you who, when Keyoka was like, I'm on, how did she find her job? How did she find her remote writing job? The answer is getting your skills, getting clear on your skills, not the job title. You're not just looking for one job title. And so those sessions in Exodus Summit 2022 are helpful. Yes.
I want to add something about that too. It's also what's big in my field is niche. So like if you have a specific set of knowledge, people are looking for that for you to write for them. So like I work in tech and I also work for like a supplement company. So like these are my niches. I'm the expert on it. I am the expert. Yes, I'm the expert.
Yes,
So it's like because these are my like things that I have a lot of knowledge about. These are the things I write for. So they're looking for people who know their field.
that's right. That's right. What you know, right? Plus the ability to write about that thing,
Right.
money. There's money there. It may take some time to get going. It's going to take some time to get your business out in the world, and, but there's money in knowing a thing and being able to write about a thing.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Sojourner session was wonderful. So if you seriously, friends, if you're at all interested in doing some freelance work of some sort, some client work of some sort, some consulting of some sort, you should be watching the replays from Exodus Summit 22, in particular Sojourner and I just said it, Sojourner and
Jessica.
thank you, Jessica Potvin. Those sessions together, they're going to get you ready, okay? And then the 2023 sessions on top of that, right? They're bundled on the site. When you go to exodussummit.com, you'll see they're bundled together. And yeah, it's next week, okay? I don't know what happened, but October is tomorrow. Do y'all know that? October is tomorrow. So serious.
September flew past. Flew past.
No, I don't know. I don't have an answer. Don't ask me what happened, okay? Don't ask me where the year has gone. But October 6th is next week, okay? So Exodus Summit, it's time to get your ticket is what we're saying. It's time to go ahead and get your ticket. So you attended Exodus Summit, you did the
Yes.
challenge with us, your freelance business is out in the world and it's time and you're ready to start slowly scaling it so that it can take over and so that you can have even more time freedom. So you have location freedom and you have a good amount of time freedom, but
Yeah.
it's always nice to have a little more.
I would love a little bit more, just a little teensy bit.
Yeah, just a little more where you decide what clients you take, you decide what work you do. It's nice to be in charge of that and to have all of the say. It's wonderful. All right, so and then you met up. Then we got to meet Keyoka in London and Morocco last year, back to back. We had the big Morocco get together, and on the
Mhm.
way to Morocco, Rashida and I stopped and both had long stayovers in London. And so there was an organized London meetup. I think it was Kimberly. Was Kimberly organized that? Had an organized London meetup, and we got to meet you there. And you were like, I'm on my way to Morocco with you guys. So how was it hanging out with the Exodus Summit family? Were we a
It was
family? Do we say family? We say squad most of the time. Gang.
that sounds like we're about to roll up on somebody. Like, I mean, we did kind of roll up in Morocco. Like, 100 black women pouncing, like pressing through the streets. People were
Move,
like,
move, move, move. I'm
like
with my girls and we
really,
all these babes.
really,
We did.
really,
We
we
did.
did.
This was your
But
first time meeting the women from Exodus Summit. How was that?
it was I almost actually didn't even go to the meetup, and I remember I was on the phone with my aunt. I'm always like talking to her and getting on her nerves, but I was on the phone with my aunt and I was like feeling really introverted and like I'm not gonna know anybody there. I don't want to go. It's like, and she was like, just go. You can always leave. See,
Yeah.
meet some new people, whatever. And I was like, meeting people, and so. So it was nice. I went there and I met the ladies. Rashida like made me take some people's numbers. One of those people is Zolani, who has a channel Black Fresh and Free.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I met her during that meeting, and now she's like a really good friend of mine. And I met another girl who's also a writer, Sade. And so yeah, like you go, and I feel like even if you just connect with one person, it's still beneficial to like have people. Like it is so refreshing to have people who don't think you're crazy, because like I said, my friends, they still are not on board all the way. But like to just be surrounded by people who think that it's possible. They've already like opened the box in the way that they think. And it's just reassuring.
Yes. Yes, listen. I know that. I know that same. I don't think I'm gonna go. Right. I wanted to go, but listen, I'm not going. But that same ability to do things, even when you're afraid to do them, it can pay off. It can pay off. So it gave you Zolani. You got to hug me, which
Yes.
yes, right. It gave you. It.
Mama Kyle, Mama Herman.
You got to meet our moms, which is
Yes.
always the highlight of any meetup. Okay, it's always oh, right, whatever. Okay, I'm like, but I'm here, right? Okay. People be like, is that Connie Perry? Is that Herman Down? I'm like, but I'm here. Wait a minute, right? It pays off. It pays off. That ability to do something, even when you know you're afraid to do it, really pays off.
Yeah.
So you met Solani. You're friends now. Zolani's on her way to the Caribbean, or is she already gone?
She's on her way to I think Mexico, Mexico
Oh,
City.
Mexico. I wanted to go to the Caribbean, I think. Yes, Mexico. Right? So this is a connection that if it hadn't happened then, who knows, right? Who knows if you would have ever gotten to meet her if you hadn't been able to meet her at that Exodus Summit meetup. And
Exactly.
so it pays off. It pays off. The Exodus Summit squad. So Kelly decided that we are squad. Okay. I said family this time, but Kelly said squad 2 times to enforce it.
We roll deep.
But we are the same. We're wonderful people who I think in general are the people in our circles who are the weirdo, right? Your handle is awkward black nomad. I think I got it in the right order this time.
Yeah.
AB, awkward black nomad, right? So those of us who have been the awkward girl, the weirdo, I use the term weirdo in my life and for myself, right? Uh, we are a collection, a gathering of weirdos. Also, a collection of women who would probably identify as introverts. There's a lot of introverts in the squad, and a lot of extroverts who will not let you just sit in a corner. There's
No.
good balance and good community there. If you haven't had community with Black women, this is going to be really surprising and heartwarming for you. Yeah. So
And I
join.
I will say also, like, I feel like I've come a really, really long way in terms of like my outgoingness and talking to people. I think part of that is traveling, but then also like having that support from the Exodus Summit community.
Yeah.
I remember I used to I used to like go to the gym and like sit outside in my car and be like, I can't go inside. Like I'm so anxious and nervous about doing like these little things,
Yeah.
you know. I used to my therapist was like, we're gonna have a plan for you to take yourself out to dinner. And I'm like, and now I only go out to dinner alone. Like
Yes.
but to think that like in just a few years, like I've come really, really far just being surrounded by people who understand what I'm going through and then like just pushing myself just a little bit.
Push yourself just a little bit. Community is that important, right? Community is that important because some of us are in community with people who we feel we who don't help us in any way, right? Don't do that for us. And so getting in community with people who can just do a little bit, give you a little bit of support, right? A little bit of cheerleading makes so much of a difference. It's I'm the same. People don't believe it. People who didn't know me before don't believe it. But I'm the same. I'm a hermit, right?
Yeah.
Stay in the house. I ain't got to be outside for not ever, right? I There was a potential for me to become that lady who lives in that house, right? In my neighborhood. There was the potential.
That's me.
Yeah, right?
That's me. But
There
now that's me everywhere I go. The lady who lives in the house everywhere I go.
but you see the world doing it, right? You can still be yourself. You didn't have to become a whole different person. You just add on the ability to do something that you're afraid to do, or add on the ability to recognize, like, if I don't leave and go do this one thing, I'll probably regret it. So let me do
Yeah.
this one thing and then come back. That's how I do my travels, right? I I don't have to see the most famous thing in a city, but there's always something that I want to see or do. And so I'll be
Yeah.
like, let me leave the house and do that so that when I leave, at least I'm not regretting it. Now, sometimes it's the very last day. Sometimes
But
it's,
I did think that when I started traveling that I was gonna like suddenly be a new person. And so like something I learned over time was that like me same me, different place.
yeah,
And I just have to give myself grace. So like there are times when I'm feeling super like people drained and like I need to spend a new day. Like we were talking earlier about like me, I just traveled to Denmark and I'm like, whenever I travel to a new place, I stay inside the first day or so. Cause I mean I have a month here, sometimes longer. So it's like I need to like recoup and like just be by myself and like watch Netflix and like have food delivered. Like that's just my process, and that is okay. Like it's okay to take time for yourself,
yeah,
and to just stop criticizing yourself about it. Because I think that was big for me. Like when I started traveling, because I was like, oh, I'm not introverted and like I have to be super outgoing to meet new people. No, not necessarily. I engage with people when I want to, and that works for me.
that's right. Yeah, you don't have to abandon your whole self, right? You don't have to just abandon everything about yourself, right?
Yeah.
No, because listen, everywhere you go, there's an extrovert who will they'll do the work. Just let them do the work.
Everywhere. These people, they're all over the place. Sometimes it's a bit much. Like, but we're happy for them, I
Yes,
guess.
they seem to like it, right? But everywhere you go, there's somebody who will reach out to you, and you decide if you want to reach back, right? You decide if yeah,
And something I learned about myself is like I can cosplay as an extrovert. So like when I'm in a new place and I'm feeling like okay, I need some people interaction, I'll set up a meeting, or I always find another Black woman to connect with wherever I am, and that kind of like fills my cup a little bit. So like it's just knowing your level of interaction that you want to have with people.
that's right. Know it, and like I said, plan just like we plan to be afraid. Plan to need some time afterwards, right? Plan to know that I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna do some stuff, right? But I'm coming back home, and I'm gonna be in the house for 2 days, and I'm not talking to anybody, right? Plan
Mhm.
for it. Plan for it. So how else do you meet people when you're out traveling?
So don't roll your eyes. Bumble BFF, and it's hit or miss because you meet some strange people on there. But also, whenever I'm going to a new place, I'll usually search in Facebook like expats in this place or Black in whatever place it is, and just to see what kind of groups out there for people to connect. Also, I met some people on TikTok.
What do you mean?
Man,
How do you do
I
that?
met they just reached out to me. Like they knew, like from my videos on TikTok, they were like, "Oh, you're in Albania, like let's connect." Which usually I wouldn't do that, but like it's because they're Black women.
Yeah.
I was like, "Sure, like why not?"
I've had that happen on Instagram because you used to be able to tag like your Instagram used to have a map included. I don't know if you remember
Mhm.
those. Instagram used to have like the pictures had a map. And so Adrian, who's sometimes here, Adrian reached out to me. She was like, we're in the same town in Vietnam. Do you want to have a play date? Right? It worked. Really, when you're traveling, um, you can have as much of a social life as you want. So Bumble is an app I've never used, but I heard of it. I've heard of Bumble and Bumble BFF. I've heard of it. So it's just an app where you put where you are and you say a little something about yourself, and people reach out to you if they want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but I haven't been on Bumble. I've Tindered around. Okay,
Going
and
to get my
okay, okay, and then let's see. Do you want me to take you off the screen for a second so we don't have to see your house or
yes.
with that? I said that as if I knew how to do it. I think I
Well,
do.
it's I'm settled. It's okay.
Oh, okay. That was quick. Okay. Now I got to put you back on. I did it. Look at me. So, yes to Facebook communities. There are Facebook communities all over the world. Some will be like expats in this city. Some will be like black expats in or brothers and sisters in. So those are wonderful places to reach out. And of course, I'm going to shout out our own community. The Exodus Summit Facebook group is a community of black women, some of whom are all over the world, well, who are all over the world, black women all over the world. And so that's another place where you can just be like, hey, I'm in such and such a town. Let's meet up. I'm in such and such a city, such and such a country. Let's meet up. And you can meet up with black women. I've had some of my favorite places, some of the places that I look back on as my favorites, it was because of the black women that I met there, right? Like Vietnam. In every city, I went to I would say there are three cities in Vietnam: Da Nang, Hoi An, Hanoi, and Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City. And I met and hung out with black women in each one of those cities. Um, and that's one of the reasons Vietnam is one of my favorite places. And that always makes a difference. Okay, so good. So you're meeting people, including Beyonce. Let's talk about, are you charged? Are you plugged in?
Yes. We're
Okay,
talking about
let's talk about the Renaissance World
you
Tour.
need to sponsor me.
What do you
I
mean?
sing I sing my praises of Beyonce all the time. That's my girl.
When did you see her? Which Renaissance stopped were you in?
I was in Barcelona, and I actually saw her the week before my 30th birthday in June.
And okay, so Barcelona was very early in the tour.
Yeah.
Tell us everything.
I mean, well, now that I've seen like the US portion of the tour, I'm like, oh, the outfits. I missed out on so many outfits. It was my first time seeing Beyonce in concert, so I was just gassed. Like, I was like, I deserve Beyonce. I deserve this ticket. Like,
Yes, yes.
she's amazing. The mic was on. Her skin is so clear. Oh my god. She's literally like, she is the living word.
The mic was
I mean,
on.
we're all the living word, but she's the living word.
Listen, you about to give me so much hate comments, so many hate comments. I already went live on Instagram the other day, and this man was like, "She's a witch. She's a witch." I was like, "Listen, I have never." Okay, so I just saw Beyonce in Houston. I went to the first Houston show. I have never, right?
You went to the Houston show
Houston. I
with
took
Meg?
myself out of Costa Rica and flew myself to Houston to see our girl. Okay?
I love that.
Y'all not. So, Keyoka, what happened was you came back. So, the day we were in the challenge that when you saw Beyonce,
Yeah.
we were in, and so that night, Keyoka was like, I'm not going to in the group coaching today. I'm going to see Beyonce. We were like, okay, girl. And then the next day you came in and you looked different. And you said, I feel like my whole life, here's what you
Mhm.
said. I don't know if you remember this. My whole life up until now is BC, right? That was all before Beyonce. BB, you didn't say BB. That was all before. Now I'm in the after Beyonce period of my life. And I was
And
like,
after that, so if you remember in the challenge, right, you asked us to film a video of ourselves talking about our our spiel or whatever that we do in the challenge.
yeah.
And after I went to that concert, I was like, let me get up and do it. Beyonce, she works so hard. She stands on that stage. I need to stand on my own stage. Okay? Let me film a video. And I mean, and also I would say maybe that was like the first step of me starting my own YouTube channel
Hmm.
because it was like, I got stuff to say. Let me do it. Let me just go do it.
Yes, you can be changed by something like that, right? That changed it get I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
It was powerful.
Power. Okay, so my opinion, my understanding, it's okay. Don't worry about the dog barking. It's not as loud to us as it is to you, first of all. And second of all, everybody's dogs bark. Okay? That's what they do. Um, so my opinion is that what's happening to us when we see the Renaissance World Tour and we feel our own renaissance. I think what's happening is that we're seeing her do the impossible. And so it changes what's possible for us. That's my theory. We see a
That's
woman.
happens. And
Okay.
I think like I've been a long this is my first time seeing her live, but I've been a long time member of the Beehive. So I've seen like all of her documentaries. I know the work ethic and like she's the bar. I put Beyonce in my thesis when I was in school. I've done projects on Beyonce. Like it is intense. I'm intense, but when you see somebody work so hard, and Beyonce has this ability to see the good in people and pull them and know like their strengths and use them, and so it's like when you see all of that come together and you see the final project, the show,
Uh-huh.
you're like I need to be tapping into that energy.
Yeah.
Like if there's a source that like she's pulling from, I need to also find my source. I need to push myself and do like she's the bar. And you're like, if I could just do a little bit,
Just a piece. Right. We
just
don't
a,
want to,
I don't need to do all
we
that.
don't need to do all that.
I don't need to do all that. Even when I'm working out, I'm like, oh, Beyonce does Soul Cycle and she has rehearsal.
You
Oh,
think she does
I
Soul
could
Cycle?
finish this mile. Like
You think she works out during the tour?
I know she
Really? How is that? I don't know how that's possible. Because that
because
that that
she's
performance
human.
is 20 workouts. That
But
performance,
she
I've done
works out.
P90X and Insanity. That was
But
beyond.
she works out before, like she trains really hard before she goes on tour. I don't know if she does it during tour. She
Okay.
trains really hard before she goes on tour, and you can tell because of just like, I've seen her sip water before. I'm sure when she goes backstage, she's like sipping water, but it takes a lot to build that level of endurance.
Yeah.
So it's like even when I'm working out, I'm like, man, I could do this mile. Beyonce, she's the inspiration.
Yes. Let her inspire you. That right? Be inspired by something in your life. Be inspired by something to reach you higher for yourself. Do it. Let it, right? There are a lot of people who pride themselves on not being inspired, right? A lot of people whose default response is always, here's why she's not this, and here's why this isn't that, and here's right.
Mhm.
Let yourself be inspired by something. I was inspired by that woman. We saw her do I swear, she did the impossible on that stage. And now, for me, anything is possible. That has
Right.
changed what is possible in my life. And I think that's what's happening when people go to see her perform, see this, right?
Yeah.
So I don't I don't I don't downplay. I don't fault anybody who goes to something like that and has an experience and says this has changed me. And I'm so glad that you shared that in the coaching in the community because seriously, I was like, listen, I want mine. Right?
I'm happy you went. I'm happy you went and you got to experience that in Houston, no less.
I want mine. I want mine. Listen, y'all not everybody out here going to get their experience and I'm not.
And it's also like I feel like she is the icon of this generation. So I feel like, we don't know how many performances she's going to give. We don't know how many tours she's going to go on. And
That's
so it's like it would be like if you were up and popping when Michael was around, like or Whitney Houston, like I wish I was like, you know, up and ready to go to a concert when Whitney Houston
uh-oh. That my
was
internet or
on
your
like
hold on.
the live and performing. Like, those performances were
I think
wait.
the haters are trying to get us. I think your internet dipped out for a second.
Oh, what was I saying?
Let
Sorry.
me know. The hate, it's the the internet haters. I think, but it's okay. I think you're back now. You're back, or was it me, y'all? I think it was. I think it was yours on your side. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, right. People are asking, how does this work with ease? There's no ease in that, right? That's why we're not doing that. Me and Keyoka, we're not doing what Beyonce does, but we are being inspired to reach our higher selves, whatever that means. To me, my higher self does not work all that hard. Okay? My higher self is not a hard worker. She's not a hard worker. My higher self is a person who delegates and who has a vision, holds on to a vision. I have a clear vision for my life that I'm moving towards, I'm making progress on, right? But I'm not inspired by the hard work. I understand, but I can appreciate the amount of work that takes. Now, she's a Virgo, and they're different, right?
Virgos are different. Virgos are different. We're never gonna. I'm a Gemini. I don't like all that.
No, I'm a
I don't like all
Cancer. I just want to float. Okay,
that.
I
Oh,
just want to
oh,
float through
yeah,
life.
definitely.
Okay,
I'm blowing in the wind. I'm not going. There's no way. I'm gonna do what's been called upon me to do, but just that.
just
That's it.
that much.
Yeah,
Maybe only 80% of that. If doctor says the point is that she doesn't have to work that hard, she chooses to. That's right. That's her choice.
exactly.
That's right. That's right. But it's amazing. So that you're right. She does have a special ability in that audience of 70. Adele, you told me there were 70,000 people in the show I went to, right? That audience of 70,000 people. There, she pulled out individual people, right, and connected with, said their names, commented on
Yep.
what they're wearing, right. I felt like at times she was singing to me. There is a real. That's a special ability. 70,000 people in that thing, right?
I wanted to touch her garment. I wanted to get close. There's no way you can get close enough.
You wanted to.
I want to touch her garment. I wanted to get close enough to I was like, I just need a little bit. Just a
You might meet her sometime. She's an actual person. You might meet her.
I
You
don't
might.
want to meet her. I'm okay with her living in my head. I'm okay with her living in my head and in my TV screen. I don't want to meet. I
Okay.
feel like if I met her, I would just embarrass myself.
Okay. Okay. You're the one gallivanting around Europe. You might see her yacht somewhere. Okay. You might see her.
In this yacht, I need
Girl,
to be on the lookout for a yacht.
please. Okay. A man with a yacht. If he has a yacht, he don't even have to be 6 feet tall. Okay. Thank you. Keep your eyes open. People send me Rashida and my mom when they go somewhere and they see a yacht, they take a picture of it. I saw your yacht. Thank you. I'm gonna hold on to that picture. Okay. Hold on. Hold the vision. Me and Beyonce have visions for our lives. Yeah. Um, yeah, we want to live. We want to like live. We want to go out here and live our lives. And so we'll see. Well, you might get to meet her one time. She's a person, right? We'll see what happens. Okay, so we talked about Beyonce. We talked about okay, we you told us about the places that you've bopped around too, but we didn't get into it in depth. So Keyoka on her channel has a full video on Albania. And I said an hour ago that I was going to drop the link to your channel. Let me go ahead and awkward. It's going to take me a second. Tell us about Albania for you as a black.
Well, you the only black woman there. So that was an experience. I haven't been anywhere in like Eastern Europe before, so it was my first experience, like just kind of being the only, the only black one. People stare at you a lot, but I will say it's a beautiful country. The the people can be friendly. Um, and I had a nice time. I had a nice experience. The it was a very affordable place. Yeah. Trying to think what else. Yeah.
Okay,
It's not someplace that people normally would go
right.
either.
Nomads like it. I think part of why they like it is if you're in the Schengen zone and you need to leave the Schengen zone to reset to get another 90 days on your tourist visa, it's easy to get to and affordable while you're there. But so people go there, I think, for that reason. But they seem to like it once they get there. It's not just a place to pass time. So how the food? What's Albanian food?
It's just Mediterranean. It's right next to Greece and Italy, so it's a lot of like meat and like rice and stuff like that. I found out that Americans can actually stay without a visa for a year. So I wanted to go see because it might be a good place to like set up a base.
Do you want to show us your dogs? Can
Oh
they?
god.
Will they? They're two little Chihuahua mixes, I think you said, right?
Little try. Come here, Frank. Now he
Frank
doesn't
and
want to
Bernie.
come.
Frank and Bernie.
If he's like barking for something, can you take me off camera real quick and
Okay,
I'll deal.
sure, sure. Yeah, what I know about Albania is people. Yes, and she's right. Americans can go. I think that's relatively new. Americans can stay for a full year. Um, it's a place that when people who are living as nomads, especially who want to spend a lot of time in Europe, they seem to go there because they get to go. They can leave the Schengen zone and reset the clock, but they seem to like it once they get there. Um, Wanda from the Black Women Travel podcast was there for quite a while. Maybe she spent a whole year there. Maybe it's been a long time. I need to catch up with Wanda. Wanda was in Albania, I think, for quite a while, and yeah, the Black women I know who have been there, they're into it. That like they're into it. Keyoka's video, I watched her video, and she said they stared, but they weren't rude. And they helped her if she needed help. Right? That's pretty much what you want. I mean, not the staring part, but some European place in Europe in general, it's not. They stare more than like Germany, like Germans stare. And in her comments on, I think it was on TikTok, on her TikTok comments, people were like, "Yeah, I live in Albania. We do stare. It's a thing that we do." In other countries, it's seen as rude. In Albania, that's just seen as how you do. You stare at somebody. So they do stare. Now Keyoka was in Albania for the summer, and Europe had a heat wave, so Albania was warmer than it would normally be. But we'll ask her about the weather. I see you guys as questions. Yeah, but I think the price gets people. The price pulls people there, right? But
Okay,
the way people treat them makes people like it while they're there. Okay, welcome back. How they doing?
they're okay.
Okay. Is he mad at somebody?
No, he does this like nuisance barking. That's just like, give me this. I want this, and then he'll do it until I give it to him, which is a terrible habit. We
Yes.
need to work on that. But that
And
was his he's fine.
okay. All right. Okay. And I was just filling people in on what I know about Albania. Wanda from Black Women Travel Podcast spent some time there too. So is it a place that you would, so it's a place that you're considering setting up shop in because you can get a full year there?
Yeah, and I mean, actually, I've met a couple of Black women who are also in Exodus Summit, who have been there long term. Like one girl I know has been there for 3 years, and she rents out like a year lease and then uses it as a base. But I mean, you have to still pay
Yeah.
two two housing payments of because wherever she decides to go plus the place in Albania. But they tend to like it. For me, I think I was starting to feel a little maybe travel fatigue, like constantly being in new places and like having to like deal with just new stuff. And so Albania was sort of like a reprieve where it was like a place where I could calm down and like there's really not a bunch of big attractions,
No.
but it's just a really chill, beautiful place where you can see yourself living there, really.
Okay. Good. Can you tell us about, so we talked about how expensive Ireland was and the Airbnbs in Ireland. What did you pay for your Airbnb in Albania? Do you remember?
Yeah, so the first place I went to was probably maybe 1,000 for the month, and then that was again on the high end. I've heard people finding like much lower accommodations, um, and then I liked the place so much, and there was another area of Tirana where I was staying in Albania that I wanted to be in because it's like more nature and it was close to the lake. Always looking for places that are cool for the dogs,
Uh-huh.
so my Airbnb host had another property, and so like we set up an outside agreement for me to stay the remaining 2 months and pay him just like in cash instead of going through Airbnb. And that was like about the same.
About the same, $1,000 a
Mhm.
month.
Yeah.
Good. And this is $1,000 a month for a one bedroom.
Yes. So it's a one bedroom apartment with all of the, the things you may need, washer and dryer.
Prior. Okay. Good. All right. Let us know. So back in the day, I had a list of 50 cities with Airbnbs for $500 a month, and Tirana, Albania was on that list.
Yeah.
With COVID and inflammation, with COVID and inflation, I don't
Yeah.
know
You
that
can
many.
find much cheaper places, but the thing is because Albania is starting to become more well known, prices for things are starting to kind of go up a little bit. Like, so maybe like a few years ago, yeah, you could find a $500 flat, but like now I would say, 600. I've seen the lowest be like 700 on Airbnb.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that
which
means.
isn't.
No, that's not bad. An Airbnb for 600 is an apartment, like a long-term rental for 4 or 500, right? So if you do want to stay there and go off of platform and stay for a year, get a place for a year, you probably can get in the $500 a month range, right?
Yeah, and I was staying in like a very nice apartment, like stainless steel appliances, like renovated, brand new. I was the first tenant, so I paid a little bit more. And then the area I was staying in was sort of like it was a very good area where there were a lot of people from different countries there, so that's why I was paying a bit more.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So I just want people to know when they're hearing the number, $1,000 a month on Airbnb means if you were to rent an apartment in that area, you're going to be you could get a half, one half, or two thirds, for one half or two thirds of that price, right?
Right.
Airbnb prices are not rent prices.
Right. If you when you I would say um go there, stay for like a week or so, start connecting with people, and then if you find someone who knows somebody who has a building who's selling, like the prices that you get from people on the ground are going to be different than the ones that you find online.
Yes, always, always. Yeah, you start messaging people in English. Listen, the price goes up. Make you some local friends, or at least somebody who's lived there for a while who can help you negotiate some closer to local pricing. You may not get local pricing, but you don't want
You're
the
not.
American pricing.
They'd be like, "Oh, American." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. No, not me."
That's
Like,
that's exactly right. Katrina wants to know if it's bike friendly. Did you see people biking around?
I saw people biking around. I saw people with scooters. I wouldn't bike around.
No.
Um I would not. Just because like sometimes the sidewalks are like, so I'm from New Orleans and like our streets are ghetto. And I would say in Albania the streets are ghetto. In
Okay.
at least Tirana, right? So like you're biking along, everything's cool, and then bop bop like a pothole.
Okay.
Take you out. I
Okay.
wouldn't do it. Not me.
But is that a way that people get around there, or are they on foot and then on the metro, and like are locals biking around?
Locals are probably going to be on scooters more so than, but they're on scooters in the actual street. If they are biking, they're on the street. They're not, there's not a designated like bike lane or anything like that.
Okay. 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 All right. So Kelly wants to know more about the travel fatigue. So you left January 31st.
Mhm.
You're still traveling. You're in Copenhagen. You just got to Denmark 2 days ago. Sometimes the travel sucks. Let's talk about the
Yeah.
travel days and the fatigue of traveling full time for months on end.
Yeah. So travel days are really stressful for me. I don't get flight anxiety, but I do get like worried about I don't know. I always have this fear that one day I'm gonna show up to the airport or something and they're gonna tell me my dogs can't fly. So
Yeah,
and
that would.
then right. So like no, even though I'm like double checking my documents, I have everything in order, I still get that little anxiousness. And then navigating the airports, I will say it has gotten easier, but there is still like just confusion. Like when I flew in recently to into I had a layover in Vienna and I went to the wrong gate. And they and this gate you have to like go through customs again and then go through security. So I went through security twice. They stamped my passport 3 times, and I was like, you could just let me go. I went to the wrong gate. But it's just like little things that will get me kind of frazzled.
Yeah.
So by the time I like actually landed in Copenhagen and got to my Airbnb, I was like, I'm not dealing with people. I'm not talking to anyone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay inside.
This is why we talk about slow travel. There are people who would have been traveling since January 31st who would have been to 25 countries, right? Right?
But I don't know how people do that because, like, I've met some people who are like, I got 2 weeks, I'm about to do 6 countries. And I'm like, girl, I can't do all that. I'm exhausted even thinking about it.
Mm-mm.
I need to, like, stay in a place and, like, settle. I need to, like, get my, because I mean, today I walked a little bit around my neighborhood and I saw some places that I might want to check out later. I feel like even just exploring my little neighborhood could take me a week.
That's right.
Just,
Yeah,
you know,
because there's some people are very competitive about travel and they just want to hit the numbers.
yeah.
And then I guess there are some people who really do enjoy traveling at that pace, but it's not for most people, and I would never recommend it. Right? Take your time. So Keyoka just told us she was in Albania for 3 months. She stayed in two different places over 3 months. Don't be moving around. Give yourself time in a place. Let yourself find a neighborhood that you like. Find a coffee shop in the neighborhood or whatever that you like. The gelato. Find your local Joe Gelato. Right? Find the things that you like so that you can be like enjoy so you can enjoy things and not just be checking things off of the list.
Yeah. And I mean, lists are great. I always start off with one, but if I don't hit everything on my list, it's okay. It's okay. I'll
Yeah,
let it go.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, the whole point is about what you feel like, how you feel while you're doing it. And if you
Yeah.
do it to the extent that you feel beat, right, worn out, you are doing it wrong. There's not I don't say a lot of times you're doing something wrong, but you're doing it wrong. If you feel exhausted from the way that you travel, you're doing it the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that you just got to Denmark, but do you know what you're going to do next, or are you at the fatigue point? Where are you in this travel fatigue moment? Are you like, I hate this, I'm going back home to the U.S.? Are you like, I want to go someplace where I can just live there and stay, or are you like, I'll sit here in Denmark and then I'll recharge and be on to the next place?
So for a minute there, I was at that I want to go home place. But I do think my time in Albania did allow for me to kind of like reset and recharge. Um, I think it can get sort of overwhelming being in a place where nobody speaks English and having to try to communicate. And I have all of my, I use my Google Translate. I try to look up, like the basics. Hi, thank you. But it is a lot sometimes, like, especially like as an introvert, having to struggle so hard to communicate with people sometimes when like it's already kind of difficult for me to communicate with people. Um, and it can be sort of like draining on like a mental level. Uh, but I do feel like I had that time to recharge, and now I'm like, let's go conquer the world. Let's do
Okay,
it.
okay.
Back.
So Denmark is in the Schengen zone, so you get 90 days in Denmark.
Yep.
Are you going to
Well,
stay
I'm
in Europe? Okay.
so the plan right now is to stay 30 days in Denmark and do um the rest of that time in Germany. So I'll be in Germany November and December, and in that time I want to be able to see Amsterdam. Why are you making faces? Why are you
Christmas
making
markets, Christmas market.
I know. That's why.
Aw,
That's why I want to see the Christmas markets. And also, I'm big into Halloween, so I really want to get into something scary next
okay.
month.
I don't know that people do that. That's very American. I don't know that you're going to find Halloween. Yeah, I don't know you're going to find Halloween stuff.
Krampus? Well, I guess that's Christmas. I guess
Good
that's
luck.
Christmas.
I didn't mean to burst your bubble. I'm sorry. Your face, you just were like, I'm sorry.
No, it just means I need to think about it because I'm sure somebody.
Somebody.
If I don't get to see a haunted house this year, I'm gonna be sad.
I don't know, girl. That's America. I don't know. Maybe
Right.
some Americans are hosting a haunted house somewhere in Germany. Okay, but the Christmas markets, oh, that's going to be awesome. You're going to have a good time. You're going to have a good time.
I hope so.
Okay. Do you want to tell us a city in Germany or two? Or no? You don't have to. You can say pass.
Pass.
Okay. Okay. So the Monique, who is an unstoppable journey on Instagram, Monique White, who lives in the Netherlands, she always goes around to the Christmas markets all over Europe in December. And I'd be so jealous. And then I remember you have to wear a coat. And I'm like, never mind. But one day I'll get there. I think another little birdie named Rashida, don't tell her I told y'all, may be doing some Christmas market stuff this year in the winter as well. So you may
I'm gonna
get
buy me something because Rashida is coined up. So if she's gonna come around Christmas to Germany in the Christmas markets, like I'm expecting a gift, something to welcome me just to the community as a long term supporter.
how can you be welcomed into the community that you've been in? You want a welcome gift 2 years later? Never mind. If you want a welcome gift, you can ask for a welcome gift. I take that
You
back. I take it.
my intentions.
I take it back. All right, maybe y'all can do some Christmas markets together. Listen, she is a really good shopping mentor, right? If I'm so serious, Rashida can teach you how to spend money on nice things. Okay, so maybe y'all could do some of that together. When I think of the Christmas markets, I really just think about the food, right? Hot
I
chocolate.
want to see everything. I want the hot chocolate. I want to see the lights. Like I want to. Christmas is my jam.
Okay,
So I just want to like. I'm just gonna explode with happiness.
let's do it. Okay, good.
Come with me. I'm trying to get my family to come with me, but they don't have passports.
There might be time. It's been slow. It's been delayed, but there might be time. You need to send them some pictures. Go to An Unstoppable Journey on Instagram, Monique. Send them some of her pictures. She's in the Netherlands, but she goes all over. She goes, listen, okay? She don't play about her Christmas markets. Send them some pictures. There might be time. We got what, October, November, December? There might be time. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, that would be lovely. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's see. How did we do? There were some questions in the chat that I wanted to scroll back to. Oh, so Zolani, Keyoka, what is your process for choosing a country? How do you choose where you're going to go?
So when I started this journey, it was very like type A. I made myself an itinerary. I wrote down possible things that I wanted to see, how much they cost, how to get around every city. I did like all of this research, and then when I started traveling, um, some things just fell apart. It just fell apart. Like the decision to go to Albania was very much like, okay, I got to get out of the Schengen. Which one's the chillest place? Like, which one's the chillest place? And then I always knew though that I was going to Denmark because before I left the US, I thought I would chicken out at some point traveling. So I had planned to go to Beyonce concert in Spain. And then I had planned to go to there's a Luke Combs concert. I don't know if there's any country music fans. I'm a big country music fan. In Denmark. So I knew, okay, I at least have to make it to October.
Okay.
And that was my goalpost. And here we are.
Did it.
But I basically like set my travel around that. And then also um with having knowledge of the Schengen area and like being in and out of it, having to navigate like how long I can stay in a certain place and then what places are nearby.
Okay. Yeah, so that Schengen zone for people who want to travel around Europe, the real decider, right, is it in the Schengen zone or out? Because with a US passport, you get 90 days in the Schengen zone, but then you need to be gone for 90 days before you can
Right.
come back, right? So yeah, and so, but the good news is there are parts of Europe that are Europe, but not Schengen zone. So you don't have to go all that far to restart your 90-day clock, or to wait out the 90-day waiting period, or however you want to look at it.
Right.
Okay, all right. So the concert is coming up sometime soon?
Yes, next week.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's nice to plan things around stuff that you like to do, right? It's nice to be able to plan your travel. That's location freedom. It's so nice to have the freedom to look on a schedule and be like, "Oh, Beyonce's in Barcelona. I'm going then.
Let me
Oh,
go to
Luke
Beyonce.
Luke Countryman is in Copenhagen? Okay, I'm going then. It's really, that's freedom. That is a life, right? That is living the life that you want. I'm so glad that you're doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I went I did some music festivals and stuff. When I was on my gap year, I did some of that. I went to, well, no, I went to festivals in general. There was a Loy Krathong festival. I was traveling around Asia. Loy Krathong festival in Chiang Mai. There's a lantern festival and a water festival day back to back, right? So the Loy Krathong Festival is, you've probably seen like just lanterns floating in the sky in Thailand. I wanted to be there for that. So I put that on that was the beginning. That was like October. I left September 21st, and that was early October. First full moon in October is how they kept saying it, the full moon in October. And then I wanted to be in the Philippines on one small island, which I can't remember what it's called right now, had a, no, it wasn't. It was Cebu. Cebu had a festival thing that I wanted to go to. So that helped me map out my trip. So it's
Mm.
nice to be able to pick out some stuff on a
Yeah.
calendar and be like, okay, I'm going there. And having the money, the income to support it, and be location free, and have some time freedom to be able to be in a place and enjoy a place. I mean, that's a good life. And it's a life that a lot of 29 and 30-year-olds don't have, right? Don't know it's possible. A lot of 49 and 50-year-olds, right? Don't have it, don't know it's possible. And so it's awesome to watch you doing it.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you. And thank me. I'm gonna take the credit. Okay, I don't
I mean, you did it. You inspired me to start traveling. So
okay, thank me. Thanks to me. All is all me. Okay. None of all the other stuff we talked about, forget all me. Yeah, no, but seriously, this is why we talk our talk, right? This is why you have a YouTube channel, why I have a YouTube channel. Because some people would do some amazing things if they just knew it was possible. Right?
yeah,
All we do is we share what we do so somebody knows that it's possible. It's not as hard as you think it is. It might be scary, but not as scary as you think it's going to be. Yeah. Yeah, Faith
it's not
Christmas.
as expensive as you think it is.
That one. That's right. That's right. Yes. All right. So the Christmas markets are all over Europe. Uh, UK and France, Germany, I don't know, Europe. It's a thing that they do. They set out little outside Christmas markets, and they just look so delightful. They look like gingerbread towns. Little towns in Europe become like gingerbread villages during Christmas time.
So excited.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I haven't really thought about the shopping, but there is shopping, I guess. I always just think about the food.
I don't do. I'm a eater too, so I don't really do a lot of shopping. I'm terrible at like buying clothes and stuff. But I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat everything in sight.
Uh,
Like I can't wait. Even like just Christmas just fills me with this joy, this energy that I'm gonna be floating through the markets, literally.
Good. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Oh, that's a wonderful plan. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, any chance you're going to come to South?
Oh, I
You
am.
are. I saw your name on the
I
thing.
was on the fence. I was like, can I afford this? Do I want to do this? But then I went with you guys to Morocco, but I really wanted to go to like the black side of Africa.
Africa.
So, but I was sort of like, I don't know, like I don't know anything about it. I don't know if I want to go on my own. So, boom, better opportunity. Just go with the Exodus group. I know it's gonna be lit. I know some people already who's going. Wendy, Dominique.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yes, I saw your name on there. Yeah. So we've talked about community, and we've talked about what Exodus Summit is. The Exodus Summit community is going to Cape Town, South Africa in February. So get in the Exodus Summit Facebook group if you're interested in that, because that's where the information is. It's at
Life
Exodus.
changing. Yes.
Yeah.
Life changing experience. I met some phenomenal women. Um, just it's amazing.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's so wonderful to get together with 100 women who you don't know them, and then in less than an hour, you you feel so like I don't know, tuned in. So like part of it, right? It doesn't
Like
take long.
like it's a place where you can actually fit in.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Angela's coming. Yeah, yeah. So we have some women who have been at meetups before. In we did Cancun the first year, Marrakesh, Morocco the second year. So some of the women who have their tickets to the meetup are women who've already been, and some of the women are women who are brand new, right? So it's really exciting. We'll get to see some women rekindle their friendship, their sisterhood, and some women start from the very beginning, and it's really exciting. It's a really wonderful time. So get inside of the Exodus Summit Facebook community if you're a Black woman who this conversation has been interesting to, right? If this hasn't interested you, you're not going to like the community, right? If it's annoying you in the chat, the way everyone is so helpful and nice, right? If you're annoyed by it, this is not the community for you. But if you've enjoyed this conversation so far, you're going to enjoy the Exodus Summit community. So go ahead and join us. Go ahead and join us. If you have no picture on Facebook, you're automatically declined. We don't play about this being for Black women only. And so we can't tell. If you have no Facebook photo, we can't tell. So you're automatically declined. If your photo is a sunset or a flower, because Black women love a profile picture of a sunset or a flower, okay? We have to go to your profile and be able to tell that you're a Black woman. Some of you have your profiles really locked down strictly, and we don't know, and so you do get declined. Okay, so some women do get declined because we can't tell you're a Black woman. What happens when we don't err on the side of caution is we end up with people in the group, or it doesn't happen, but what would happen is we'd have people in the group talking about, I'm not a Black woman, but my husband is Black, and so I belong here, right? And then cater to me, answer my questions.
Right.
Or I'm a man, right? And I can't stand to see women having fun that doesn't revolve around men. And so let me take over the conversation, right? Or I don't like Beyonce. None of those, none
Absolutely.
of that is allowed.
Let's start adding that to the question. We'd start adding that into the requirement, the rules. Do you like Beyonce? Yes or no? Tells you a lot about a person.
So, Exodus Summit, it is a wonderful community. All right, so is there anything, Keyoka, that you think that we didn't cover that you want to make sure that you say out into the world?
Um, I don't know. Did you want to talk about dating more or no?
Ooh, how did I forget that? Yes, if you live your so lovely, says what about biracial women? If you live your life as a Black woman, we're not, it's not about the Exodus Summit thing, is the boundary, right? It's not about us being the judge of who's a Black woman and who's not. It's
Yeah,
about life as a Black woman, right? There are some, we saw Meghan Markle not long ago say that she had not been living her life as a Black woman until the British people told her she was a Black woman, right?
would you get Markle into Exodus Summit if she asked?
Before that, no. If she was not living her life as a Black woman, she wouldn't even want to be there. Why would you even want to be there, right? Right. There are Black women who don't live their life as Black women, right? And they don't want to be in the community because why would you? So you decide, okay, friends. You decide if you're living your life as a Black woman. You're welcome into Exodus Summit, and if you're not, you're not. That's it. Dating, please. Dating, please. Okay. Homad says, you better drag Albanian men. So Homad did not have a good time.
Wait, what?
So Homad apparently thinks that Albanian men are not the move. So,
I don't know. I think it depends, right? It depends on like what's your vibe. I didn't have obviously I'm not married yet, so I didn't find my Prince Charming there, but they were okay.
okay, did you go on any dates?
I went on some dates. I think like I don't know if it's a European thing, but I do feel like people are very direct with their adoration of black women. Like I would walk around the streets and people would be like, "Beautiful, beautiful." Like, "Drink? Do you want a drink?" Like,
Uh-huh.
and it's different from like the usual, like in the US, like people will catcall you, they'll be like, "Hey ma." It's not like a "Hey ma," it's like, "You're gorgeous. I just have to let you know that you're gorgeous and like keep on pushing with your day."
Mm-hmm.
Um and then the dates that I went on, yeah, the for the most part, the guys were pretty respectful. Sometimes I do wonder, like, is part of your is part of the allure because I'm a black woman. Do you think like I'm gonna be
Yeah.
promiscuous? Like, do you wanna? Are you trying to sleep with me? Whatever it is, and you can weed those guys out pretty quickly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I was I went on a few dates and I had a nice time.
Okay, good, good. I went to El Salvador back in March for Adelia's retreat, Reclaim the Retreat. And I was just walking to a restaurant, and this man drove by, and he says, "Sabor negra," which is flavor, right? Black woman flavor. And I was like, mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a different way of catcalling around the world. Everybody
It's
does a different,
not
but not, it's not, I guess it's not always catcalling, but there's a different way of
yeah.
expressing what you had to say to women.
And I think, especially because like I'm an introvert, like people don't really. I feel like in the U.S., people don't really walk up to me. Like nobody's shouting me out. But I think while I've been traveling by myself in Europe, like people have come up to me and asked me for my number. Regardless of whether or not they're viable contenders, they've asked me for my number. They've been like, "Wow, you're so beautiful. I love your hair. I love your blah blah blah." And that's been kind of nice. Like I've gotten a lot of attention just walking around being myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that is nice. It is nice. You can tell. You're right. You can tell the difference between. I genuinely just wanted to let you know that I think you're whatever. You're beautiful, or I'm glad your smile is nice, or whatever. And like, oh, there's a black woman. There's my chance, right? I get to cross this off my list, right? You can tell the difference. Hopefully,
Yes.
hopefully. Nisha
Sometimes it
says,
is
hopefully
like
they
that.
give us free chocolate. Yeah, yeah, you can tell the difference. So, you're on the. So, did you meet the dates that you went on in Albania? Were they from apps?
Yeah, I
Which
use the app. I'm on Bumble and Hinge, but I've heard the people like Tinder. Some of the people have met their husbands on Tinder. Um, Maybe one day I'll get on Tinder. I don't know,
okay.
but
I
yeah, so far Bumble and Hinge.
okay. I haven't been on any other app except for Tinder for dating, and I will tell you, it's much better. Okay, this is 2015 talking, okay, but it was much better out of the U.S. than in the U.S. In the U.S., Tinder was awful, basura. Outside the U.S., there was a good chance that you're going to meet a decent person who can carry on a conversation and who will actually meet you for a date instead of just be your pen pal. In the US and Australia, useless. I found Tinder useless. But in other parts of the world, it was much better. Better.
Speaking of
Better.
like
I take out the much. Better.
conversation, speaking of conversation, I have found that there's a lot more men who can carry a conversation. Like one of the issues I had in the US was I had to do the heavy lifting a lot of the times. In Europe, a lot of people are more willing to like talk and be witty and like on the chat in the chats, and then like it's like, okay, we'll have dinner, and then I usually have pretty nice dates where we have things to talk about.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
when I came back to the US, I was like, wait a minute, where the men with the personalities at? I think I couldn't tell if it was like, is it because I've been out of the country and I came back, or did they change while I was gone? I really felt like I don't know. I guess I had low standards. I had no, there was no conversation skills check mark on my checklist before. But when I came back, I remember I was like, where are the personalities? What happened? And you can
Where
find
are men like women?
exactly, exactly, right?
He's crazy now.
Today in the US, they approach you like you're a burden, but like you're approaching me. I've had actual DMs like something something, and then the first question is, well, tell me what you bring to the table. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me? I don't.
I had
How did
one guy.
I don't want
I had
you. I
one guy ask me what I did for the week over the weekend. I said, "Oh, I went and got my nails done and I got a massage." He's like, "Oh, so you like to be pampered?" Yes.
yeah, right.
Like, why is it so confrontational? This is supposed to be a conversation where we're getting to know each other. You asked me one simple question, and then we got into like this big long like argument, and I was like, "This is not for me."
You're right. They
It's just
don't like women, right? They don't like women, but they'll waste your time for quite a while. So have you? Okay. So we talked about Albania, Spain, France. Any other dating experiences? UK.
I liked it. So I have a slight addiction to Ghanaian men in the UK specifically. It has me in a chokehold. It needs to release me because
Well,
we
what's
can't
wrong
do it.
with?
They're really good packaging, really good packaging. You see a guy, he probably is ambitious. He probably has a lot of money. It's I think the thing about Africans in particular, it's like the good parts of masculinity, like not the like he's gonna open a door, he's gonna pay a bill. But and he's not gonna like make you feel like why are you asking me to do it? Why don't we go 50-50? Like it's not gonna be any of that. But I don't think they have, in my experience, I've dated a couple, they don't really have emotional intelligence.
Oh,
They have really good personalities, but they have really good communication. But like when it comes down to like talking about your feelings and how you feel about things, they just are not there. They
okay.
just are not.
Okay. They are above Nigerian men wherever. Nigerian men anywhere in the world. So Ghanaian men, it's a better choice.
Nigerian men aren't even on the table because we just rebuke Nigerian men. If a Nigerian man is speaking to you ladies, run away. Okay? Run away.
I've had men yell at me trying to get my number. Like one man in the airport, he was
Don't do it.
like,
Don't do it. Don't at me. Do it.
he's yelling at me because I'm like, nope.
No.
Okay, okay. So Ghanaian men in the UK. Uh, but is it possible? Okay. Is it
Yeah.
possible?
You're
Is
gonna
it
ask.
possible that there are Ghanaian men in the UK with the good stuff that you like, but also with some emotional intelligence who
I hope so. I mean, obviously, we don't know what country my man gonna be in, but I hope so. I just need the one. That's all I say. I just need the one. And like, I don't know if I can say this on your channel, but Erica De Niro always says, "Keep your standards high as giraffe P." Keep your like my standards are where they are. They're not wavering. So like if I'm gonna find a partner, then yeah, I'll find a partner. But like I'm living a great life in the meantime.
yeah. Yes, indeed. You are. Okay. All right. The members of the Nigerian delegate say, yes, run. All right. And then, so Spain, I didn't enjoy Spain in general. Okay, but I didn't have my luggage. My luggage was stolen as soon as I got to the airport. My luggage was stolen from the airport carousel in Spain. Okay, so let me say that. But I didn't enjoy Spain, and I don't remember people in Spain being people that I liked. But I
Mhm.
had a bad experience. So did you do any dating in Spain?
I did dating in Spain. I stayed in Barcelona. I also did not like Barcelona.
Okay.
But I don't want to just color. I know people who love Barcelona particularly, but it was just not for me. It was kind of whitewashed. I think I was expecting sort of like a Latin American experience, and I got like a very European situation. And I was like, ew, like. And then there were like tons of white Americans. I went during the summer, so it was like high tourist time, and I was just like, oh my god, like don't sit next to me. Like
That's
I
right.
don't want to be grouped in with with the white Americans who cannot. They're not even trying to speak English. They're looking at people speaking in Spanish like they're crazy.
Hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And so
I,
dating, I feel like because there were a lot of young people where I was, I think even though the men I was dating or the men I went on dates with were a little bit older, I did feel like the way that they engaged with me, uh, they were kind of ex- expecting an experience as they would with a younger person. Like, I'm 30. You can't play the games like you would with
Uh,
me that you would play with like a 23-year-old, you know? Like, you're not gonna text me WYD and expect a response. You're just not.
okay.
You know, we're not gonna listen, walking on the beach is not a date. We gonna eat. I wanna eat, I wanna sit down, I wanna have a glass of wine. Wine in Spain is like €2. You go buy me a
Paella.
glass of wine, buy me
Mm-hmm.
a meal. We're
Paella.
not doing
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
not doing that.
Okay.
If you suddenly stop communication and then want to like hit me back up, like you're not getting a response, just like the little like games that people play, I was like, I'm not doing
Okay.
that.
All right. And were you in Morocco very long?
I didn't stay in Morocco that long.
Okay. Some women
Yeah.
had some dating experiences in Morocco, but not me. Not you, right? Not us. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So dating around the world. So would you say that your dating experiences abroad have been better than recently in New Orleans, recently in the U.S.?
Mm, I think it's kind of. I would say. I would say I usually have decent dates. Like, I've never gotten up from a table or anything, just because like Um, I go into it like it's going to be a fun experience. I don't have any expectations. I'm going to do what I want. Um, but I do think that I don't really come across a lot of men who like have really poor opinion of women as you would in the US, because I've heard some things and I've also experienced some things that just don't even seem like real life while dating in the US that haven't even come up while I'm in Europe. The conversations tend to be better. The men, they seem to actually like women. I get complimented a lot. um we don't talk about who's going to pay for what. They just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always tell black women, I'm like, if you're fed up with dating, but you don't want to quit, right? You're fed up with dating, but you want to keep work looking, go
Right.
to the country, right? Go somewhere else. There's no magic place, though. There's no place where you're going to be like, this is it. This is where the men are wonderful, because they say
Well,
men. You
the
think?
UK was nice. The
Okay.
UK was really nice. I had a man take me to. I never been on West End, and he took me to a play, and then we had dinner after. That was nice.
A real
Um,
date. Two
yeah,
two locations.
it was my first. Well, yeah, I have good dates. I be having good dates, but like,
That's good. I mean, that requires planning and
yeah,
research. He had to do some planning and some research on that.
he was a nice guy. We went on I think like a couple of dates, but uh it was like friend. I felt friend vibes, so I don't.
Okay.
Um, but I did also have somebody take me to what's that chicken place that all the black people go to in the UK?
Uh-huh. Nando's.
Yeah, I had two guys take me to Nando's, and so like the problem with being like an eater is like if you gonna feed me, I'm gonna show up, right? And so I get to Nando's and the chicken is good. The
Yes.
chicken is delicious. I'm happy with it. I find out afterwards from my UK friends that was a cheap date.
It's
That's their
yeah,
McDonald's.
it is cheap. But
That's
it doesn't look the interior looks like a restaurant. You don't
exactly.
know that
You don't realize that you're getting you're getting
they
one pulled
got you.
over,
But it
but
was
the
still good
chicken,
food. Good
it
food is
was
good
good
food.
food. It was good food. So
I knew going to Nando's. I just went, right? I was in the UK and I went to Nando's. I knew that it was fast food, and then I walked in and I'm like, wait, why does it look like this? So
it looks
I can
like
see a man being like, she don't know no better. Let's go to Nando's.
I was stuck in my face. I didn't.
Yes. It don't matter. It does. I think the food, him wanting you to have a good food experience is what matters, right? More than the price. The good food experience. If you ate good food, you're happy, right?
And I think like if you want to date black, not that you have to, not that you have to be burdened with that. I feel like in the UK, there's a lot of like uh men who have been socialized like westerny, so like they know things and they're like entrepreneurs or they're like business owners, and I think they have a really large population of black men who want to date black women
Okay.
also,
Yes.
in my
They,
opinion.
yes. I noticed that too. In like I live in Delaware, which is black. People who don't live there don't know that, but Delaware is black. And but you hardly ever see black men under 50 with black women. In the UK, black men are with black women. And so that is, if this is a thing that you're interested in, if you're interested in dating black men. Okay, we're putting UK back up on the list. It's expensive. Be prepared.
It's a, don't go there. The UK is like a toxic ex boyfriend for me. Like I don't want to be there. I don't want to go there, but he always has my heart. UK always low key has my heart. London,
You posted the other day that you missed it there.
I
I saw.
miss London. Because when I'm in London, I feel like I'm the lead star in a rom com. Like I could just walk down the street and bump into my soulmate. It feels like it's going to happen.
Oh.
Brainwashed by Disney and Korean dramas, I'm well aware. But every time I'm there, it feels like I'm floating.
Oh, that's good. That's a nice feeling, right? That you should give yourself whenever you want. Okay. I like it. I like that. It does have, right? There's nothing wrong about the UK. It hasn't done anything wrong to you, right?
Mm-mm,
Okay.
no,
Natasha
it's
said
too
it feels-
expensive, and you know.
it's expensive. Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Okay. House sit. So house sitting is very popular in the UK. The UK is a place where you and your dogs could find house sits with no problem, right? That's the home of house sitting, I think. At least Trusted House Sitters is headquartered in I think in Brighton, but which is not far. Yeah. Oh, Solani says don't put the UK back on the list. We,
She always says that. She always says that. She's like, I don't get it. I'm trying to leave.
leaving to
Well,
go to
no.
Mexico is not going to improve your dating chances. You know what I mean? I don't, in my opinion, unless you're in community with like travelers and tourists who are passing through Mexico, leaving the UK for Mexico is not going to improve your dating chances. I don't think. I don't think. Okay, okay. All right. So we've talked dating now. Okay, how are y'all? How are y'all feeling in the chat about this? Did we cover this? Did we cover it enough? We've had Keyoka for 2 hours. She's just landed. She
Been
needs
a great time.
she needs to good. Okay, good. She needs to get rested and get the dogs. I guess there for you it's afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Something.
5, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because you're even further than London. Okay. All right. So it was so wonderful talking with you. Keyoka's YouTube channel is Awkward Black Nomad. Boom.
Yeah.
Link posted. Okay. She's the same on Instagram, Awkward Black Nomad. She's a freelance writer and specializes in tech and health supplements.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you can reach her if you want to talk to her about these things. Oh, hey, I did write this down earlier, and I left my other notebook in there. One more thing that I knew people were going to ask us about when we were on screen together: hair.
Oh, I'm actually doing a video for hair.
Good.
So like they have hair care products that they have in the US over here in Europe at least. I don't know about other places.
Mhm.
The thing is like you're probably going to pay more money for it. And I think also you have to do what works for your hair. For my hair when I was in Albania. Now, mind you, like Albanian people have a little there's something
Oh,
like
they
I
have good
don't
hair.
they have like a curly they have really curly thick hair, right? Because it's like they're close to like Italy. It's that like dark curly texture. So
Uh-huh.
like they have good products where there's like a lot of nourishing moisturizing stuff in it. So you can find something. I think if you can't find what you're used to using, find a good substitute and maybe add like whatever natural oils they have. So like olive oil or like, coconut oil, whatever works for your hair, and then build your own regimen. I haven't let anybody cut my hair yet, but you gotta, but
Yeah.
just I would say keep your hair moisturized and find the resources in your new place. Or maybe you might want to mix your own stuff up. I don't know. I thought about doing that.
I use Garnier Fructis, and you can find it all over the world, right? Some kind of, it's like avocado and something, shampoo and conditioner. And I just add in, like you said, I add in wherever I am, either olive oil or avocado oil when I'm down here, right? Just add in my own oils to the shampoo and the conditioner. And And then lately I've been traveling with my Chemet Biologics Hydrate and Twist butter, right? The butter, the heavy stuff that I want. But the shampoo and conditioner, I just use, I found a drugstore brand that is fine, and then I add extra oil to it, just like you said.
And I tried there's this afro hair line from Lush that I tried, and it works phenomenal on my hair.
Oh.
And it's available where I was in Albania, so I started using it. Um and it really, like, I have very like I think it's, yeah, low porosity hair, so like my hair just sucks up moisture, and this stuff, it stays in my hair for a while, so I don't have to keep adding product or anything or moisturizing. It retains, my hair retains it very well.
Ah, and Lush is that store in the mall with the bath bombs. That's
Yeah,
Lush.
with the bath bombs and the candles and the soap. Yeah, they have an afro hair care line now.
Ah, okay. Good to know. Okay, so if you don't want to use the drugstore stuff, you can step up a
Use
little.
the stuff.
Some people's hair care regimen is their way to like pamper themselves. I don't, if you want to use the good stuff, use the good stuff. Do what you want. If you want to check a suitcase so you can bring your hair products, do that. I don't listen. I don't do what you need to do to feel comfortable and to feel joy in your day and in your week. And if that includes using your bougie hair products and not drugstore $2 hair products, do it. Do it. Do what you want. But yeah, you can find. So it's good to know. It's good to know that they have that in Latin America. Stores are hit or miss with actual black U.S. products. You may find black lines down here. Cantu all over the world. I don't know how they do it. Cantu is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
I thank Kelly. Thank you for asking that. I wrote that down as a thing that I knew people were going to want to know about. And then finally, okay, so that Tiffany can have some peace, please. Can we show Tiffany Frank how are the dogs close by, or should we just go to
Oh,
the channel?
one. You can go to my channel. One's right here. This is Bernie. He doesn't. This is the one that doesn't really like to be on camera. He
Okay,
was taking a nap,
we can see.
but the other one had to be put up because he's
Oh,
having a nervous breakdown.
oh, you locked him away. Okay, so Tiffany, go to Instagram or YouTube. Awkward Black Nomad. You'll see them. There's a cute Instagram picture of them practicing getting in their carrier.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Friends, thank you so much. Keyoka, thank you so much. Okay, so friends, one more thing. Okay, it takes me forever to close out a video, but y'all know that. Okay, one more thing. Exodus Summit is next week, and it's time to get your ticket. ExodusSummit.com is where you go to get your ticket to Exodus Summit. We've got sessions on finding a location, finding a country shopping, right? If you want to talk about bopping around for yourself and you want to look at some places that will fit you. Krishan from Black Set Global is doing a session on country shopping. Rashida's doing a session on finding or the pitfalls, the money pitfalls that make people have to leave and go back to the U.S. I think if this session today interested you, you want to get the bundle to Exodus Summit 22 plus 2023 because the sessions on freelancing and taking a job remote and finding remote work from last year's summit plus the sessions this year on freeing up time in your life and enjoying your location freedom and finding financial freedom. These sessions, those summits sessions go together to help you do the thing that Keyoka has done, which is take a chance, right? Take a
Yeah.
chance. Even though her community, some of her community didn't get it. Her aunt, is it Aunt Christy?
Yeah.
Aunt
She
Christy,
was on board day one.
thank you so much for that, Aunt Christy. Thank you. I could tell from the chat. Thank you very much, Aunt Christy, for that. Right? But Keyoka had to get some. Keyoka had to be able to take action when she was afraid, and then form community with other people for whom this is normalized, in order to be able to be out here living her life, and had to be able to be in touch with what she's feeling while she travels. I need more time here. I want to leave here. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to slow down. And these things are things that we're talking about in Exodus Summit. So the super chat, okay, and one more thing before we go. Super chats are here. I'm going to give you these super chats. They want to give you a little cash, a little lunch money. Okay, so Beautiful Evolution, thank you for. chat. I hope you're still here. She applauds your bravery to take this leap and create the life you want. Katrina Michelle, Super Chat Cash. Joanna. Hi, Joanna, who's also a speaker at Exodus Summit 2023. Little Super Chat Cash. Yes, you know Joanna. Yeah, you got to meet Joanna in Morocco. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they give you a little lunch money for your, or dinner. I guess now it's dinner money for you in Copenhagen. So thank you for sharing. Um,
Thank
and
you for having me.
my
This
pleasure.
was nice. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you letting me talk about my platform, having this discussion with me. It's different because I'm used to watching you, and now I'm gonna be one of the people talking. It's kind of crazy.
That's right. Next time you go to a meetup, people will be like, "I know you." Yeah, a new like the new people, even the new people. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. Okay. Yeah, this was wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, friends in the chat, for being here and for being so wonderful in the community and taking good care of each other and answering questions that we couldn't get to. Okay, we are happy for you, Keyoka. We love to see you out here thriving.
Thank you.
We'll see you again soon.
Okay, see you.
Bye. Okay, I got